it is official, I am definitely in love with Baby Yoda. What's up, everybody? Today I'm here to talk about The Mandalorian episode 3. This will be a non-spoiler review at first, and when I get to the spoilers I will let you know, just in case if you haven't seen it yet. The episode is called The Sin, and in my opinion it continues to be very strong series. I am very happy. I had a lot of fun watching this, and it was directed by Deborah Chow, which will be the person directing the Obi-Wan series, and it made me so happy because I thought the episode was indeed very well directed. I was like, the way that she pulled emotions and and even like the action scenes, it was pretty great. So yes, I am very happy with this series. I think that this is the way indeed. And I hope that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are the ones in charge of Star Wars going forward, because it seems like, we know Dave Filoni, it's kind of a son to George Lucas. He worked very close to him, so he really understands the Star Wars lore. And I love that this is very character driven. Like, we're really with this Mandalorian going through his journey, going through his struggles. So I believe, there's another thing. A lot of people have been kind of giving criticism that is very short, and yes, it's only 38 minutes. But to be honest with you, I will take quality over quantity anytime. I'm okay that it's short like this, as long as it continues to be very strong, fun, and it just feels like Star Wars. What can I say without spoiling anything? Well, I believe that all the structures of a narrative story is there, even though it's short. Like, you have a beginning, a middle, and an ending, and the stories, each episode kind of feels complete. I really enjoy it. It's very satisfying towards the end, and there's a lot of good action. Like I said before, it's very character driven, so we're really following this Mandalorian. And I like the performance very much. I like the fact that, he doesn't talk very much, but when he does, you really pay attention. I love the tension. I love the pacing. I love the scenery. And this episode pretty much, if you saw episode 2, continues on the same journey. He's still with Baby Yoda, but I'm not going to say what happens, obviously, because I don't want to spoil. But it's kind of hard to give a review without saying any spoilers, but I would say, yes, it is very strong. There's a lot of people saying, tweeters, celebrating Deborah. She's the first female director, which for me, yes, it's a great thing. We don't have a lot of female directors in the industry, so that is great, but that is not my main concern. I just want people with talent behind the cameras, regardless of who they are. But yes, I am happy that Deborah Chow indeed proved to be very capable, and I'm happy that she will be in charge of the Obi-Wan series, because if it's anything like The Mandalorian, we have good Star Wars coming our way, which gets me excited. Like I said, I believe that this is definitely worth checking out. I don't know if you have Disney Plus, some other people are watching in a different way, but yes, I was curious to find out if people, have you fallen in love with Baby Yoda yet? Because I have. I can't wait to buy one. I just think that he's the most adorable thing ever. He's super cute, and I love the dynamic of the Mandalorian along with Baby Yoda. And that's my review without any spoilers. So now let's talk about the spoilers. So now I will get into the plot, exactly what happened throughout this episode. So if you haven't seen it yet, thanks for watching, and if you have, so continue with me and let's talk about it. Anyway, so this episode continues with the Mandalorian now actually delivering the bounty, which is Baby Yoda. And in my way of seeing, I was like, this is really kind of like, he really reminded me of Han Solo, because it's exactly how Han Solo acted at the end of A New Hope. He really took his reward and took off, but later he came back, and this is exactly what I knew that it was gonna happen, because I in my mind I was like, the Mandalorian, I think he is not a bad person. So far we have seen that, he's a bounty hunter, but he kind of have like a moral code, so I knew that he was going to go back, but I wasn't sure how it was gonna happen. And the way that it was directed, it kind of prolonged the episode in a way that I was like, oh my god, is he ever gonna go back for Baby Yoda? Because and then he actually did. But anyways, when he gets there to deliver the bounty, I really could feel the tension of him trying to let go of this baby. You know, he clearly cares for it, which is amazing. Like the fact that the stormtrooper grabs the crib and then he goes easy. Those little hints really shows character, and I thought it was brilliant. You know, it was very for me, it's like I'm really studying this character's behaviors, and I loved it. I thought it was such a great episode. So then he gets there, he gets his reward, and then Baby Yoda, when he's leaving, oh my god, you just see Baby Yoda with his big little eyes goes, ee! And I was like, oh my god, are you really gonna leave him there? And I could feel that was a hard decision for the Mandalorian, which is something very hard. If you think about it, this guy has a helmet on the whole time. How can you portray emotion? But they did it. They did it through music. They did it through body language. And like again, like the baby leaving, he's just like looking at it and the camera kind of goes on the Mandalorian. Great directing. I was like, this is really good. You know, I was like, I can't believe he's leaving him there. Anyways, he does take his reward and takes off, and then he does something really awesome, which he gets his armor made, right? He goes back to the place that we were introduced in episode 1 with that lady that can do armor, and that was pretty good. And for me, that was the one criticism I had for the episode, because that part was a little bit repetitive to me, because they went back to flashbacks again, which is stuff that we had already seen. So in my mind, I was like, this is, I mean, it seems like it's a common theme that they're probably gonna keep going back to that flashback until we actually have the resolution of the flashback, because as of now, the flashback just informs us that the parents were killed apparently by a droid. So maybe that's why he doesn't like droids. But that's about it. So the only criticism for me is that was a little bit repetitive. I didn't really get any new information from that specifically, because I already knew that had happened. However, I did enjoy watching the armor being built. That kind of reminds me, I don't know, it reminds me of like Lord of the Rings for some reason, when they're making like the sword for Aragorn, and it's kind of that process of building something. It was interesting to watch, so I enjoyed that. And it's also, we get to meet other Mandalorians as well, but the thing that is interesting in that scene is that they seem to be a little hostile towards our Mandalorian, the one that we've been following, and I was like, that's kind of weird, but then maybe they're not, and that is set up really well towards the end. And to be honest with you, I did not see that coming, and that's one of the favorite things for me on an episode, is when you know things are gonna happen, but you don't really see it coming or how it will happen. So that is what made the episode very interesting to me. So then after that, right, we had a brilliant scene where he's first he goes back to the cantina scene, and then everyone is kind of like pissed off at this Mando because he was the one guy that got the bounty. But I mean, the way that he carries himself, he feels guilty. You could feel that he feels guilty. I don't know how she did it, but I felt his guilt. And you can really feel that when he goes back, he gets another job, right? Which is, it seems like it was Akbar's son. If you think it's a different person, let me know in the comments below. I was like, is that Akbar's son? Seems like it. Or maybe it couldn't be Akbar himself. But anyways, I need to watch that part again. And I was like, are we gonna have another, adventure? That was interesting. But anyways, he get that bounty, and then he goes inside his ship, and I loved the scene. So this is the brilliant of showing, not telling. There is this little ball, right, that it was supposed to be on top of this ignition thing, and when he goes to put his hand on it, the ball is not there, and he immediately reminds him of Baby Yoda, because at the beginning of the episode, Baby Yoda was playing with it, and he said, this is not a toy. And I was like, that was so heartfelt and so powerful, because immediately it's just like with visuals, it shows you he's making a decision right at that moment. So he grabs the little ball, and the camera kind of like zooms in on him, and I was like, I was with him, like going like, oh my god. And then immediately he turns everything off, gets up, and I was like, yes. I was like doing like this. I knew that he had made a decision. He was gonna go back for Baby Yoda. Awesome. And that process of him going to rescue Yoda, baby Yoda. We all know this is not Yoda, but everyone is calling baby Yoda, hashtag baby Yoda. Eventually we will find out if he's related to Yoda, or if he's a clone, or if he's just the species. Eventually I'm sure we'll find out, but for now let's call him baby Yoda. He goes back to rescue him, and then he finds out that the process is very interesting. He having all these fights with the stormtroopers, and in my mind it was so funny to see the troopers, because I'm like, they're so stupid. These troopers are really useless, you know. They're like, I can't believe that. It's kind of hilarious that these were you know, supposed to be such a big deal, but they're just so dumb and stupid. But the Mandalorian gets you know, around them very easily, and when he gets to the doctor, it was very interesting that the doctor said, well, he's only alive because of me. I kept him safe. So the Mandalorian spares his life, takes baby Yoda, and leaves out of there. In a really cool scene, I was like with it, but what gets really interesting is immediately when he's out of that facility, everyone gets the bounty that now they need to go get the Mandalorian, and it's just a lot of them. And in my mind, the way the tension was built in that scene, I was like, how is he going to get out of that? You know, I kept thinking, is baby Yoda going to do something crazy with the Force? But baby Yoda seemed to be pretty weak, and I was like, it was like, oh my god, how's he gonna get out of that? And they do it in a really awesome way. Like I said, the episodes really feel like a beginning, middle, end, because the climax is where the other Mandalorians eventually comes to rescue him and help him, and I was like, oh, that is awesome. And then you have that amazing scene, and they tell each other this is the way, because the Mandalorian tell him, well, now we need to move the headquarters or something like that, and the other guy tells him this is the way. So they come to the rescue, and that's how eventually he's able to get out of that with baby Yoda on his arms. The most cute thing ever. And in my mind I was like, oh, that is just so amazing. It was very heartfelt, it was very powerful. And then he walks back to his ship, and then he encounters his other friend as well, which is not really a friend, but someone that gets him the bounties, and they have like this sort of fight, and he shoots him, but the guy is not dead. I still don't know his name, but he's saved by that little, you know, metal that is on his pocket. Anyways, but then we have this other really cute scene where the Mandalorian he hands the bow, baby Yoda, you see his little hand coming over here, and you know, when they're inside the ship, and then he just grabs the little bow and gives it to baby Yoda, and I was like, that is the cutest thing ever. And that is the end of the episode. So brilliant directing job by Deborah Chow. I'm very impressed, I'm very happy. Like I said, for me, the only criticism would be the very middle with the flashbacks, just because I thought it was a little bit repetitive, and it didn't really add anything new to the story. But it feels like every time he's there getting his armor made, it takes him back to that a specific memory, so perhaps it will have a connection towards the end. But for me, if it wasn't there, the flashback, I wouldn't have missed it. But other than that, I really enjoyed this episode. Like, I love baby Yoda, I love the relationship of Mando, because now that's his nickname, right? Mando and baby Yoda. Can't wait to see what happens next. But anyways, guys, that is my review of The Mandalorian, The Sin. Drop your comments below. Have you seen it? Did you enjoy it as much as I did? I would love to hear your thoughts. Does this rescue Star Wars? I'd say probably not yet, because this is a TV series and the films are much bigger if you think about it, because more people usually goes to the cinemas than watch TV shows. So I don't think that this will save the trilogy. There's no way, because the movie is already done. I don't think, like, it doesn't really gets me excited for episode 9 either. However, it does get me excited for what stories that they can tell, even if it's on a smaller scale for TV, because as of now, like, this feels like Star Wars. It's just fun again. I'm having a great time, and I can't wait to see what happens next. I'd love to hear also your thoughts. Drop your comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Bye!